I guess while we're on the record, I will give you the facts. As for the last couple of months, the issue has been the facade, so we're all clear. We have to execute a resolution. By no way, shape, or form are we committed to fixing the facade. My recommendation, and weeks of work now, has been to get to the board a resolution to address the facade. If we table it to June 17th, I cannot guarantee that the state turns this over and awards us 40% of the project cost. I have been in touch with Mayor Rotundo. We emailed each other yesterday. So you have the play-by-play. A meeting is going to be scheduled for either Monday or Tuesday. I'm waiting to hear back. Again, time is of the essence. I feel like it was important enough for the last couple of months that we act on this immediately. I moved as quick as we could with the architects. The state got back to us. We did everything on our end. I need a resolution to, at the very least, again, not to finish the project, not to start the project, but to be eligible for the grant. That's it.
So I understand what you're saying is if we approve the resolution, you send it to the state. If we get the money, we don't have to use it.
We were awarded the grant once before. We never used it. Again, if we don't make a motion by June 30th, again, it doesn't mean the work has to be completed. I just want to hope that June 17th, again, if we don't act tonight, a motion is made, a second is confirmed. My idea when we met with the budget committee was not to only address the facade, was to address with Mr. Matisich, Ms. Gillis, and Mr. Donovan in attendance, kill two birds with one stone. We have an issue with classroom space. We needed not only to address the facade, but add classroom space. That was my goal months ago. From then, it became a facade issue. That's where the responsibility lied. I was accused of neglect. I think I addressed that. And again, I leave it in your hands. I do have a meeting next week, having the architects draw up another set of plans for now what I think is being said could be potential classroom space, which I needed. We've all addressed that. Again, I can't guarantee it. This is the State Department of Education by way of the Schools Development Authority. It's a grant. We pay 60%, they match 40%.
I believe then after the meeting that you have with the mayor and council, it could be a special meeting that we have so that we can hear what happened with there and we can move forward from that point.
I would ask that the buildings and grounds be at that meeting. I don't want to waste any more time.
I'm completely prepared, and I hope Hal is prepared also to be at that meeting, but I will definitely be at whatever meeting that you call. My schedule is completely open to you.
Well, I just want to say that if we're not actually spending the money, and that resolution was primarily to commit the paperwork we need to get it to the state, to lock up the grant, whether we use it or not, I think it's foolish on our part to table that resolution. I mean, we're not spending the money. We're not ripping the building down or anything. All we're doing is trying to move this forward. And as Dr. Swirler said, the mayor, a couple other people got up here the last couple of meetings, beating us over the head that, oh, this facade's gonna fall down. Now all of a sudden, we're putting the brakes on.
It could be delayed by 1 week. If we meet Monday or Tuesday, which I'm
But
positive.
you already tabled it to
that
June
Tuesday-
17th, that's not a week.
But if we hold a special meeting, then we can approve it then. We need to meet with the mayor and council first. It could have been easily accomplished had we been at the meeting for the hearing of the
Well, I'd like to know how the board got invited to that meeting, because I didn't get a phone call, an email, or anything else, and everybody has my contact info, as well as I'm sure everybody else's. So I'd really like to know.
I don't think that it was the responsibility of the mayor to do it. I think it was the responsibility then of the board secretary to send it out once the date was set. It wasn't the date that was set at the group, the date was set. But I'm not arguing about that point. What I'm arguing about is that we have a resolution in front of us to spend money on one piece when we have the backing of the mayor and council to maybe do something larger. So if we meet with them on Tuesday, which is their next council meeting, they do a work session ahead of time, we can meet with them before they actually have that meeting. We can have information then to bring back to this board at a special meeting next week. It's not as if we're holding this off indefinitely. I'm not saying let's never do what this is saying. At the most, we're looking at a week. We can hold another special session next week to vote on what we now understand from the mayor and council.
Anthony,
I
my
don't
only
think that we
concern,
need
if
to
I
move
could
along.
interject, the architects getting involved requires plans, requires time. Again, June 30th is 6 weeks away. I'm not, I fully expect to sit down. I wish the conversations would have started while back.
Yes.
When
and
I
that's what
started
we
those
can all say, but we
conversations.
can't go backwards, but we can move forward with that plan.
What was in my intention, the last meeting, that Councilperson Cindy was specifically strong about it, that we should do something about this facade problem, and she was gonna get with Joe, together with Joe. And now you're saying that the mayor and council at the meeting, which we didn't know, I know there was a budget given, but nothing about the certain discussions about money-wise, what they're gonna cut or anything. But you're saying that they have plans maybe to do something even bigger.
Yes.
That doesn't sound right. And here
They
you
don't have the plans. We need, this is the issue. We sit down, we discuss what we want to do. We discuss what the options are that we can get from the mayor and council that we alone as a school board cannot do.
Well, I think Dr. Cirillo, correct me if I'm wrong, is just suggesting that if we apply for this grant, it's not gonna affect this other
If we
plan
wait
that
1
the-
week, it doesn't affect it. We can sit down with the mayor and
Right, but
council and
he's
say
saying
that
that
we still want to
All
do
he's
this
saying
plan.
is, approve this, and
Again.
let the paperwork go through, and
I
why
don't,
not?
I don't, why
That's already-
approve something before we have the extra information?
It's only tabled for the discussion, we can reopen it and re-vote on it if
If
necessary.
you want
I
to
think that's
reopen
what
it, but
should
my
be.
vote then will be no, and I don't want to vote no on something like that. I would
It's
want to
just the
wait until
paperwork
we have
going
the
in, Anthony, it's not
information.
that, like you said, we're not gonna start working on it tomorrow, not gonna destroy the building.
Anthony, as an advocate of public education who has been requesting and seeking additional classrooms, I will tell you, I'll rip up the paperwork if I could get more classrooms. My point is, if we don't have something in writing and have an opportunity to get $160,000 of free government money from the state, we are foolish.
Let's bring up one thing, Johnny, you did say. You said Councilwoman Cindy Pereira was here talking
Yeah,
about the
she was
facade.
talking about it,
Okay.
yeah. She wanted
Since
us
that,
to
since
react.
that meeting here, I know Dr. Cirillo had a company come in, applied for permit, and they put up a sidewalk bridge to protect the children, which hadn't been done in a long time. So I don't know, again, if you were aware of that part.
No, I'm not.
Okay, well, now you are, but again, listening to Dr. Cirillo tonight, he did act, from that meeting, get the sidewalk bridge, which I commend you on. But you just said also, about new classrooms, possibly new classrooms. Listening to Mr. Rotundo, kind of makes sense that if today is Wednesday, you're gonna meet with the mayor and council Monday or Tuesday, whichever day you do, and you say, listen, we also need new classrooms, let's discuss this whole package, and we come back here Wednesday. I'm willing to come back Wednesday. I'm sure most people would come back Wednesday, and if we're not gonna lose the money by Wednesday,
Penny, my only concern is, you're in the field of buildings and grounds, we have to
Oh, we have
submit
a price tag.
architectural plans and designs to the state as well. You tell me, how quick can an architect turn that around?
well, it
I'm not in
depends.
that field.
Ken, if I might, passing this resolution has no effect on what we might discuss on Monday. Absolutely none.
Here's one question that I have, and I don't understand. You're getting 40% of $300 and something thousand dollars to come out with $160,000.
Yes, sir.
You go to the mayor and council before their meeting, and you meet, and they say, listen, we need more classrooms, and you say, fine. Would we be able to go back again to the state to get any part of that, or it's just whatever you submit this time is what you get? Okay, so that I don't understand. So now it kind of makes sense to go back to meet the mayor and council first, because let's suppose you need other money. Let's suppose you need $500,000 to do some other repairs, which I'm not aware of that could be needed. Well, that would mean we would get back 40% of $200,000 on those repairs. So I think to wait is kind of the prudent thing, and as far as an architect, Joe, depends who the architects are. I've got some guys produce small plans 4 to 5 days, some guys take 30 days. I
That's
mean,
my
so there's-
concern,
there's
Kenny.
no-
I'm thinking worst case scenario, as I should, because
I'm saying
it's
that-
$150,000
But-
in excess of that right now.
But
And the
again-
bigger the project, the more money.
But again, if you talk to the architect, you tell them, the sensitivity of the project. Again, we've had good luck. Again, I'm only speaking to the building department, I'm not talking
Where
about
the hell have you
schools.
been? We've had a lot of bad luck, buddy.
No. I'm talking in the school, I mean, in the building department, we're getting some,
Okay, hey, I'll keep my fingers
Getting
crossed,
on.
whatever you guys decide.
well, that's just my.
But to clarify, Joe, this 40%,
Yes.
what Kenny just said, if the project was $1.5 million,
Yes.
is that,
I can't answer that. It's a state question. What I had before you is what was approved in years past, They reissued that same approval letter to me with a new date on it. With
Was
the,
was there any sort of a monetary limit?
no, not at the time,
Okay.
no. At the time, the cost of this project originally was $649,000. We phased it down after much concern from the public over the facade. That became, again, we spoke at the budget hearing with John and Lala about my goal of killing two birds with one stone, which was the facade and the classrooms. Instead, we went, I guess we're just going forward and backwards at the same time.
The honest part is, I can't, and I could be very wrong in another year from now, but I can't very well see that cafeteria remaining there if we're going to have to build new classrooms at Lindbergh. The only feasible place for them to go is where that cafeteria building is. So if we're looking at something much larger in this district that the mayor and council could help provide for us, we can't put a new facade for $300,000 in front of that to knock it down to then build something else in its place. That's why I think that it's prudent that we wait until Monday or Tuesday. We can vote again on Wednesday or Thursday when we hold the next meeting. It's a week from now. I don't see that being the week that breaks us to see what else is out there. I can't possibly foresee that the 7 days are gonna be the one that blows it all up.
Anthony, is the mayor and council meeting Tuesday?
Yes.
The mayor and council is meeting?
Yes, there is.
Will they discuss this?
They have a work session ahead of time in which we would be able, if that is the only date that we can all meet, I can guarantee that we can meet with them during the work session that they have before the mayor and council meeting, and then they can talk about it during the council meeting. Yeah, so, I can guarantee you that Tuesday, as long as Dr. Cirillo can meet on that day, we can meet definitely by Tuesday, we can sit down. I will be at that, mayor and council meeting. Like I said, I open myself up to whatever time and date that you wanna have this meeting, whatever time that you set up with the
I'm
mayor
waiting
and
to hear
council.
back from the mayor. I
Yes.
told them of my availability, we're just waiting to hear
Yeah.
back.
And that's fine, whenever you set it, I promise you I'm there.
Well, if they have a meeting Tuesday, if we could make it Tuesday, then,
Well, if we make it, when you say we, you have to be careful.
Yeah, we
because
can't have.
There's a quorum that
too
has
many
to be
meetings.
advertised.
It can only
on it.
be the, buildings and grounds. If it's a quorum, then it's a council meeting, and then it's a meeting.
no,
that has to
you
be
can't
advertised.
have more than, was
Yeah.
it four?
Five.
Richard, four?
Five.
You can't have more than five, but they're actually discouraging even having that many now. They're saying it should be less than that. But I'm gonna caution you, if that's what you're gonna do, and you're pretty set on Tuesday, I would authorize you to authorize the board secretary to advertise that you're having a special meeting next Thursday night, because to do it Tuesday, you're not gonna have enough time. You need minimum 48 hours notice prior to. So if that's what everybody's intention is,
Well, again,
I think you
seems
have
like
to
a
do
good
it that
idea.
way.
Okay, is
Or
that
else you
okay?
have a board
Is
event
that
Thursday,
meeting, mayor and council for sure?
Yes.
For the Tuesday night.
It's
And
definitely
we're gonna
Sunday.
do the announcement?
You can have the board event meeting a week from today, Wednesday.
Right.
That's
Is
fine.
everyone
Yeah.
okay with the Board of Ed meeting next Wednesday,
Yes.
7 o'clock?
I have another commitment, but again, I will try to change, I have another board.
What time is your board?
I'm not available Wednesday.
Yeah, I'm the planning board too, but I'll make it.
Is that a 7 o'clock meeting?
Yeah, I'll make it one.
I'm available Tuesday. I can prepare whatever paperwork as a result of that meeting. I can be in touch with the state again and keep our fingers crossed that the architects can expedite whatever plans are necessary if that's the route we're going.
That's
So
very
all we
good, Joe,
really need
thank
to
you.
do Wednesday is have a meeting so we
Joe
can.
just said he
approve
can't
the
do
I
Joe
resolution.
can't, but I don't have to be here Wednesday.
Okay.
Do we need Joe to be
Sure,
here?
he's gotta do it.
Yeah,
Yes.
you should.
I mean, if you're gonna do it Tuesday, you're really cutting it close, because if you go meet with mayor and council and then come right back over here and have a meeting, I mean, it's just kinda,
Yeah, but we don't know how long the mayor and council.
that's my point.
No good either day. Thursday, Wednesday, Thursday, I'm not good. Unless you wanna do it early. I can't do 6 or 7.
Earlier is fine with me, either day.
I can do 5
5:30?
o'clock either day.
Can we do 5:30?
Not Connie, that's all right. But can everybody else
Well,
make it that early?
You just said we can't, all of us can't be there.
No, no, no.
This is
For
this
the
is
board.
a special meeting.
All right,
Vote on
yeah,
that.
make it 4, 3, whatever you want.
Can we make 5 o'clock on Wednesday?
Yes.
The majority of us?
Yes.
All right, so let's advertise for May 25th. It's a Wednesday at a 5 o'clock meeting.
You do have a quorum, right?
I will be there.
Shall see next Wednesday.
I'll try to get out of work as early as
So who
possible.
can make it on Wednesday, 5 o'clock, so make sure you have a quorum?
Yeah,
Raise
Five
your
is
hands.
good.
1, 2,
I have the
3.
National Honor Society induction, can go at 7.
We got 3 right now?
I can.
Yeah, we're at five.
Yeah, we got enough.
One,
Got fine.
two, three,
We got
four,
five.
No one gets sick.
We got 6.
Okay.
five.
If we don't get a quorum,
Six.
you just throw the rest of the people out of the room, 4 people staying.
6, 2 seats.
Jeff, you're good for 5:30, for 5 o'clock on the
Yes.
25th?
Yep.
All right. So I need a motion then to put that on the,
I'll put it on the motion.
Make a
I'll
motion.
second that.
all right. We have a motion on the table to advertise for a May 25th, Wednesday at 5 o'clock Board of Ed meeting to discuss, at a special meeting to discuss whatever we can discuss from the mayor and council meeting from Tuesday. Is that confusing enough?
You do with construction
To do with construction,
or
okay.
capital improvement. No.
Okay?
So we motion that?
I motion.
Second it?
I did.
Anthony and John.
They all did. They all
Anthony
first, they all
and John.
second. Any discussion?
I think we've had enough discussion, but any more further discussion? Roll call, please.
Maria Alvarez.
Yes.
Jeff Fulton.
Yes.
Ken Duda.
Yes.
Howard Donovan.
Yes.
Ally Cottonwine. Yes. John Madison.
Yes.
Anthony Rotundo.
Yes.
Jeffrey Wilson.
Yes.
Audience participation, no,
How would you do
sorry.
something else?
On new business, right?
More new business?
Huh?
Anything else with new business?
No, no,
Old
you-
business, I'm
Yeah, I
sorry,
have-
we were on old
I have
business.
one thing. Just want to let everybody know, the fire department, Hook and Ladder Company One, will be holding a pancake breakfast fundraiser on June 12th at the firehouse. There are 2 seatings at 9 a.m. and 10:30 a.m. Tickets can be had from any fire department, Hook and Ladder Company member. There's also I'll give you guys a copy of this, the poster will be in the schools and what have you. And there's a phone number as well as an email address. If you want to obtain tickets, just leave a message or send us an email. Someone will get back to you right away. And, we plan to have the characters there like we usually do. We got a lot of characters besides. We got all kinds of characters. Sure. you can have
Any
that.
more new business? All right, audience participation?
You're supposed to motion and second.
I motion for audience participation.
Okay.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Audience participation, please.
I have a question.
Identify yourself, Kathy, please. Just for the record. No, I mean, just for the
Jolene,
tape.
co-president of the PTA. This is the first time in a very long time that the budget hasn't passed in Palisades Park. I know we've been assured from different people that it won't affect the teachers or the programs. I've never seen a budget go down that has had a positive effect on the school district, but I guess we'll have to see from here. Since that being said, now we're going into contract negotiations. Are we going to start negotiating now so that we can have a contract in place in September? Since, I guess, have we figured out where all that money, and how are those cuts going to affect us, our everyday running of the school system?
I'll answer it.
Okay.
My feeling from a legal standpoint, and this just happened this evening with the Teamsters, is my position was, you can't negotiate. Because we right now are in an influx, we don't know what's gonna happen with the budget. There are still options that can be had, so until such time as you know where the money is designated from, you can't, the board can't get into a situation where they say, well, we're gonna do this financially. It's actually against the law to sit there and say, well, we're gonna agree to this if we don't have the money to back it up. You have to have the money before you can do anything. This project is an example. You could not go forward and say, we're gonna go out to bid on this project and hope we get the money from the state. That's a violation of the law. So my position is all negotiations as far as anything to do with money, and since it always has to do with money, even the terms of the contract, have to be put in abeyance until such time as this is worked out one way or the other. Doesn't mean that it's gonna affect personnel. I'm just saying from the standpoint of legally, my position to the board tonight, we canceled with the Teamsters. I will speak tomorrow to Richard Bakke from your association and just tell him that, we're gonna have this resolved quickly. I mean, there's not a lot of time to get this resolved. and it will be resolved. So I think with the teachers, we don't have anything scheduled right now, but we'll do something shortly.
Is there wiggle room with the mayor and council that is 275 the set amount of money? Or is there discussion about that, or that's the end of it? It's 275 and you have to cut 275 unless you appeal?
Correct, that's the resolution we had that's at 275.
And are you considering appealing or no?
That's, I don't vote.
We have yet to discuss that. I think that will be discussed in closed session, and a motion, if there needs to be one, will take place, obviously, in open. It might be a long night.
Janae?
Because I just have to see something that there was a 40,000 cut in health benefits. But the discussion at the last meeting was to consider giving health benefits to the aides. Like, I don't understand, like, can we absorb a $40,000 cut in that area, or?
Those are
Like, I don't
non-binding,
know.
those are non-binding recommendations by the mayor and council. Ultimately, the board, upon my recommendation, will have to make binding decisions. And if that means we have to appeal a decision, that's something that will come out of tonight.
And when will we know this? Soon?
Probably around 11:30, I hope.
Or before?
Thank you.
Let's be optimistic.
Or before. I don't know, Kathy, I hope, again, I hope this is resolved sooner rather than later. The county needs a number tomorrow. Time is not on our side.
Any other questions?
Yes.
My name is Jane Martin. I live at 80 Brinkerhoff Terrace. I have a question about construction. I understand the need for space. School's busting at the seams. Were you thinking that construction that would avail classrooms could be done by September?
No.
No.
Of course
Oh, sorry, I don't know who she was talking.
I've been very,
No.
I was gonna.
Jane, I've been
Of
very
course.
involved with the architects. For the record, September 2016, we are okay. September 2017 was what this
Was fine.
conversation was about.
Correct.
And I will tell you, we cannot run
No.
our school in September 2017 unless we have additional classrooms.
Correct, I understand that. So, if we're looking with the help of the borough to, I would assume, make a bond, that's what we're talking about, so that we can have a major construction problem toward 2017, would you leave the cafeteria that way? Because I haven't looked at the outside facade of the cafeteria in about 5 years. So I don't know the danger, but I remember hearing that there's potential danger. So if nothing is done about that,
This-
are we
this really
going to
isn't-
let it sit?
I don't know if this would exactly be a question. Okay. Oh.
Good.
I'm just wondering, there was an urgency, as I heard. And I understand that things take time, but there was steps taken so that things would be protected. If you're looking for construction in a big bundle, would you just leave that the way it is until, like,
I think in a week we'll know the answer to that, Jane.
okay.
Sorry.
And I'm very positive that I feel very positive, though, that the budget for the school was voted down. It would seem that the borough is very optimistic for money because they're willing to make a big bundle and we're gonna have construction. So I'm very positive toward that.
Any further discussion?
Joe Spalazzo, 85 West Etzel Boulevard. What Mrs. Martin brought up was, I brought the same questions up to Dr. Hayes when we first discovered this, when I first brought it to the board's attention that there was a problem with the facade. Was told there was no money to fix the facade, and we sat on our hands for the last 3 years, nobody did anything. We put a fence around the property, and we made the property very dangerous for the children just by putting that fence there and not properly opening it and utilizing it. To Dr. Hayes, I gave at the time, the idea of the facade is moving. It's approximately 1.5 inches off kilter, it's coming out. I asked him, well, we don't have the money to fix the facade, but do the brickwork. Well, why don't we think about removing the brickwork? Brickwork is covering a cinder block wall like this. You have your structure, the brick is just a facing to keep water from getting into it. I said for minimal money, we could have a company come in there for $10,000, $15,000 and remove the wall, the brick, stucco the front of the building to make it watertight. 3 years ago, wouldn't have had any more problems with water infiltration through it, and never heard back for 3 years. I'm very annoyed at the brickwork there. I brought it up to Dr. Cirillo also. He's tried his best also, you know, I must say he tried. Money's never been available, but there are options. Like I said, my feelings are we're doing an injustice if we spend $350,000 in phase 3 on that building to fix that wall there. We're doing an injustice to me as a taxpayer in this town to fix a cafeteria that is below standard that we need. It's not big enough for what we need. It's antiquated, and we're not doing justice to the town by leaving that cafeteria there.
Joe, for the record, and excuse me for interrupting, clarification purposes, everyone knows the facade. The facade does not cost $389,000.
No,
What has been stopped as of 3 years ago was all of phase 3. The whole playground side, those classrooms would all be repointed. Again, please don't get alarmed. The number is not 389 for the small facade. It is the whole front side of the building facing the playground or the field, okay? Just so you guys are all on the
Yeah,
same page.
it's all the way up to where we stopped off on 2. Phase 2 was doing the auditorium, and it'll be everything, and I think it was the other side also, wasn't it?
Phase 3 was also supposed to wrap around the basketball court and go to the front and complete the project in its
Well,
entirety.
the front was done, phase 3, that front
When I
was
say
done
the
with
front,
phase
I'm
2.
saying all the way around to, I believe that's Glen Avenue. Thank you.
That was done in phase 2.
No, we still have issues there, Joe. If you come around where the 6th and 7th grade stairwell is, we have issues.
That's at the front, yes.
Yes.
That was taken care of about 8 years ago. We had a company come in and they did some waterproofing. But like I say, my whole thing is, there are ways around it, and I'm being very, very, well, I'm looking for pie in the sky, sorry to say. I would love to see a beautiful new building go up over there and give us 8 or 12 classrooms that we desperately need, a brand-new gymnasium, which we desperately need in Lindbergh School. It's a joke, the gymnasium that's there. And a new cafeteria facility that is clean, sanitary, with good equipment. Because I'm the guy that's climbing the ladders trying to fix the garbage that we have there now. That's all it is. Thank you.
Any other questions?
So, good evening. My name is Grace Song. I'm the president of KPG. Coincidentally, I'm here for speaking about or asking Dr. Cirillo and board members about the water condition, what we have been reported in the newspapers, and also you or Dr. Cirillo was sending us a letter about the lead water. We're talking about the building. I know my son is going there and playing in the playground every day, and he eating his lunch in the cafeteria every day. However, we as adults, we need to make it everything, make a priority what's important. I know you guys are here tonight for making that decision and good decision, a healthy decision for the kids in the Palisades Park. However, we, as a parents and Korean Parents Group, has been talked to the Mrs. Vanguard and then the Board of Education regarding the bathroom condition, because we have at least 1,000 kids are using, of course it's not a one bathroom, but having, kids are having a bathroom issues, and the water condition is brought up too. So I think we want, as a mom, we wanted to make a, something more priority and something more urgent decisions. And let's use our tax money as wisely. And if you want to heard any public issues, we'd like to participate more. That's why I'm here tonight. And then we'd like to give you some kind of important, what is our feelings every day, what our kids are going through. Some kids, I just wanted to say one thing. The bathroom is very disgusting. And I would sit down with Mrs. Longard with telling her, she was even telling the kids or the teachers to how to use the bathroom. Because every culture is different too. However, the bathroom is very disgusting and kids are holding the bathroom, the urine, and they even got infections. Sorry, that's the condition of Palisades Park right now. The girls in second grade and third grader, they got the urine infections in a couple of times in one semester.
Grace, I know you brought this up once before, and I spoke to you privately. I
Yes.
told you we would address
Yes.
it. We immediately addressed it.
Yes,
I also
you did.
said.
And it got better, a little better.
And I said, if it
But
ever happens again, please advise me. This is the first I'm hearing of it again.
Oh,
I know-
yeah.
I know you have spoken to Mrs. Bongard.
Yes, I sat down with her office and we talked it. This is what we were up to. However, the reason why I'm saying it, because the bathroom was one of the issue, and then I was asking for more attention to clean and also educate the kids to how to use the bathroom manners or stuff like that.
Sure.
However, water is more important.
Yeah.
Which fountain drink are we going to turn on the 5 minutes?
Sure. Well, so you
Before
know,
we
and
drink.
I can address the water
Of course,
issue.
yes.
and
Of course,
follow
we
up.
are sending our kids, every single one. I'm sure every moms are sending their kids with the water bottles. But my third grader boy who have a gym is not enough that's 16 ounce water.
Grace, to follow up on the water issue, which
Yes.
obviously is an issue throughout the country right now.
Yes,
okay?
I know.
To get a follow-up testing on the lead water
Mhm.
is not easy. Everyone's lined up. We are backdated. I want you to know, and every other parent or public member in this audience.
Yes.
On our end, we have done everything in our power to address the areas of concern, which means filters have been put in place in those fountains or sinks that were outside of the acceptable range. In addition, this building had new faucets, lead-free faucets, put into place. In addition,